This is the Self-Aware Leader Podcast. Now your host, Jason Rigby.
I want to get into today something that I think every leader faces. Every single person that's out there that is listening right now. I think we all have this in common. And that is being discouraged or having discouragement in our life. I want to share, I always love to give credit where credit's due. I want to share an article, and I encourage you to read it. It's by, hopefully I pronounce his last name right. He's actually a pastor of a church. His name is Carey Nieuwhof, Nieuwhof. I will put the link in the show notes. But he has ways to beat discouragement in leadership. And he talks about this, that you're not the only one. That every single leader that's out there, every single one of you faces discouragement in your life. And a lot of us, there's a reason why we get demoralized. There's a reason why our emotions feel dejected. Because part of the battle in leadership, he says, is overcoming discouragement. And if you don't develop, I love this, guys, listen to me, this is self-awareness at its best. If you don't develop a strategy, you're not going to stay in leadership long. So how do we overcome discouragement when it hits? Number one is remembering the why. Why, as a leader, are you doing this? Most of the discouragement in leadership comes from the what and the how. I've got this huge task list. I'm middle management. I'm caught up in the middle of doing all this stuff. I got overwhelming tasks. I've got 8 voicemails that I need to answer, 22 emails. I got 3 people pissed off at me. It's frustrating. And that frustration, if there is not a system to handle that, will cause you to get into discouragement and depression. You have something that you want to do. You feel passionate about it. You have a vision about it. But you get stuck in endless meetings because you have Susan or Bill or Jim or whoever doesn't agree with you. And that can be super frustrating, and it gets discouraging. Meeting after meeting after meeting. He talks about log jams, and that's what causes discouragement. And we're going to get into that a little bit, but I think this is really important. You need to remind yourself specifically, these are self-aware questions, why am I doing this? Why am I a leader? What mission do I want to accomplish? Not only in my life personally as a leader, but what do I want this organization, this corporation, what do I want it to do? The why. Be very emotional, because your discouragement's emotionals is swinging on the negative side. You got to get that pendulum and pull it back and allow the why emotions to overcome the negatives, because you can remotivate you and your team. Sit your team down and say, hey, we're logjam in the what and the how. We're so focused on this. We need to pull back, look at bigger picture, and ask them, what does bigger picture look like with the vision, the mission, and the purpose in your job? How would you change this if you pull back and you look at it according to the mission? Our vision is to blah, 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 blah. Okay, write that big on a whiteboard. Take Jim and Susan and them, say, based off of our vision, how can we fix this logjam? You have to realize that if you can remotivate yourself and your team, it's going to help you move past any type of obstacle that's out there. He talks about what an emotionally intelligent person would do, and I love this one. He says, on his worst days, I ask myself, what would an emotionally intelligent person do? And I'm going to quote from the article because I think this is so beautiful, and this is what we're trying to aspire to be as leaders. He says emotional intelligence is all about developing a self-awareness of how your attitudes and actions impact others and leveraging that to further the team and others. Self-aware leaders are always aware of key things that other leaders simply aren't. Let's break this down. This is self-awareness. I love this. So you're going to be emotionally intelligent enough to have self-awareness to stop yourself before your attitude and actions turn toxic and you start torching it. I talk about it. It's like a flamethrower. Just imagine that in the movies or in war, and it just, that's the potential that you have as a leader with your frustration. You know, one wrong, aggravating type of personality, and next thing you know, you've demoralized somebody way worse than you were. And that doesn't make you feel good unless you're narcissistic, right? Maybe you don't even realize what you're doing, but your passive aggressiveness, your snarky remarks, you're always trying to correct them, your ego as a leader trying to make sure you trump them all the time is actually demoralizing them. What would an emotionally intelligent person do? Daniel Goleman, in his book, Emotional Intelligence, he said this: rarely let their state of mind bring others down. If you're emotionally intelligent, they develop behaviors that compensate for the emotional state, so they don't drag other people down. And I understand being self-aware is one thing. The next step, once you get these questions answered in your head, is to self-regulate. And this is so great. And Carey puts this in there. He says, don't make other people pay for your frustration. Oh, that's so good. You're a leader. That's what leaders don't do. That's selfish and egotistic. I'm not feeling well. I'm not happy, so every single person around me must be the same as me. Why are you laughing? Why are you goofing off? If you're doing it at work, I guarantee you're doing it at home. With your spouse, I guarantee you're doing it at home with your children. Emotionally healthy people have enough space that they can pull back, enough objectivity to see how they're feeling, and enough strength. Think of it that core, eternal, emotional, intelligent strength to insulate other people from that negativity. Next is find some quick, easy wins. He talks about this. Cut your grass, wash your car, clean off your desk, take a friend out to lunch, get a quick win. Do something you know that will succeed and can be seen. Your car was dirty, now it's clean. Your grass was long, now it's cut. And Jocko, you guys know I love Jocko Willing. He talks about this. There's so many simple things that you can do organizing. My office is a total disaster and mess right now. I need to organize my office and get a quick win. I'm not discouraged right now, but it's still just me being lazy and paying attention on the computer and being hooked onto the computer screen and not getting excited about my environment. My environment should be clean. My brain is all crazy. I'm trying to organize my Google Drive. So is my environment. Small measurable wins will give you the emotional satisfaction you need. Next is, and this is a big one, guys. He said, take a friend out to lunch. Call a friend. Call a mentor. Don't complain to your employees. Don't talk to anybody that has any correlation with you and your business. Talk to somebody that has maybe been there, done it, got the t-shirt. Talk to somebody that honors your secrecy and has confidence in you and won't blab it to others. You can take 15 minutes and talk to a mentor, and I guarantee you will have an answer. Get a coach, talk to a coach, hire a coach for 30 minutes and share your problem, what's going on. I'm more than happy. I do coaching sessions. You can DM me on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to do that with you. It's not that expensive, guys, to be able to, you're getting demoralized, having an issue, can't see that's a logjam. It's been that way for months, maybe even years. Paying a couple $100 to talk to somebody to help you gain clarity and help you be self-aware and pull that out of you, so worth it. Next is get some rest. Take a nap, get 8 hours of sleep. Do whatever it takes to get some rest, because guess what? You're kind and more positive when you're rested. Hangry, haven't slept, all of those things. Go eat a good meal, a good, solid, clean meal, and go lay down and go to sleep. And then lastly, don't quit. I don't remember the times in my life where I wanted to quit, and I'm glad I didn't, because Some of you guys know my story about being homeless and then, rising up and being successful. But really, 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 when you think about it, the times I attempted suicide or just wanted to quit or to say fuck it, that was right before the breakthrough happened. And so many people quit, and maybe you're right there right now. Maybe I'm talking to you specifically and you want to quit. And the breakthrough's a week away, 2 weeks away, a month away. And you've been dealing with this for years. Don't quit. Don't quit. It's your calling. You're going to have a breakthrough. If you have emotional awareness, if you have self-awareness and answer the questions, and you get your team together and you guys work together to solve it and you're coaching right, not focusing on the problem, focusing on the team in the coaching, you're going to be able to solve that problem. You're going to have a breakthrough, and you guys are going to be closer for it. So I encourage you, if you're discouraged, get this system down. Get these tasks together and solve this problem. It can be solved. Remotivate yourself. Do what an emotionally intelligent person would do. Call a friend or mentor. Get some rest. And get some quick, easy wins, guys. And I guarantee you, you'll be successful.
Thank you for tuning in to the Self-Aware Leader Podcast with host Jason Rigby. We hope this episode has inspired you to unleash your full potential and embrace your inner leadership. By expanding your consciousness, you can transform your mind, body, and soul and become the remarkable leader you were always meant to be. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with your loved ones and help us expand our community. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to having you join us again on the Self-Aware Leader Podcast.